Hi, shalom, everyone. We know that today happens to be, tonight happens to be New Year's Eve 2026. So many people all across the world might be celebrating it. There's parties, people will be enjoying. But as Jewish people, should we be celebrating this day? Is this great or not? Now, all we can do is just research names Sylvester and the Jewish community, and we will get our answers. That's what I recommend everyone to do. And I recorded a video about this 3 years back. We did something in detail why maybe it's not necessarily the greatest day, let's just say, from a Jewish community perspective, this specific New Year's Eve itself. Now, first of all, we know that we've got our own New Year's. That's Rosh Hashanah, on the first day of Rosh Hashanah of the month of Tishrei, respectively. We know that that's a solemn day, but a very joyous day at the same time, and we've studied it in depth about the power of that time period, the power of the Slichot time period, the month before Tishrei, when many people say Slichot beforehand, and we come into the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah, the 10 days of penitence, and then Yom Kippur is like, let's say, an awesome day in of itself, where we can achieve our atonement and for all the wrongdoings potentially on that specific day. But you know, many people still out there, many people from all different dominions are going to be celebrating tonight. Fireworks, drums, parties, liquor, whatever it might be, beers, whatever it might be. We hope people won't be going too much further than that. But should they be doing all of this? Should they be celebrating this over here? Now, actually, it's actually interesting. I read actually a very interesting article from Rabbi Pesach Wolicki, if I'm not mistaken, and he actually wrote this about 10 years ago, where he was actually casting his mind back, where he grew up in Canada and obviously raised in Orthodox Jewish community. He even states himself that it was when the clock strikes midnight, people would celebrate back in those days. So, but he actually will talk about why inside this very, very in-depth article, interesting article, why not necessarily to celebrate it? Why he's not going to celebrate it? Because obviously, as I stated before, Rosh Hashanah, the first day of Tishrei, is the Jewish New Year. So what the theme of the day of that specific day of New Year's, it's not getting drunk and boozing and partying and fireworks. It's a day of repentance in the Jewish New Year. Rosh Hashanah happens to be. It's a day of reflection. It's an important day. Acceptance of responsibility to serve loyal subjects. We know that there's a shofrot, malchiot, and zichronot on those specific days to just show the greatness of God, to proclaim the greatness of Hashem on those specific days of the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah. And it's not one day, the New Year's of Jewish, it's 2 days, first of all, Rosh Hashanah happens to be. And it's also let's say a collection of days of the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah. Well, this New Year's, it's people are getting drunk and so on and so forth. And obviously, we also do have good meals on Rosh Hashanah. Many people have lavish meals and so on and so forth. But the New Year of Rosh Hashanah is to bring about improvement. Yes, there's people will have New Year's resolutions over here tonight. I'm sure some people will say, go to the gym more often. I remember that was something, I remember at the time period of the new millennium, that was hearing that on radio at that time. People will have their own resolutions. But in the Jewish New Year, we don't just have these resolutions. It's something that we are going to go for and to keep. And it's not just one thing we pick. We try and work in totality. And Judaism promotes this, but over here, is it being really promoted over here? Now, first of all, as I stated before, just research Sylvester and within regards to the Jewish community, and then you'll make up your mind. Now, this custom, let's say, partying and enjoying on New Year's originates actually, in fact, in pagan practices in the ancient world. That's another major problem within regards to this day. And we spoke all about this so far inside various different tractates, especially Masechet Avodah Zarah. We learned in our Daf Yomi daily learning, which we've done as a community together over here. That he even says, Rabbi Pesach Wolicki, that the hedonistic Roman culture of eating, drinking, and merrymaking saw the New Year as yet another reason to celebrate the physical pleasures of this earth. Now, participation by God-fearing Jews in such practices that are based in and, let's say, emulate pagan customs is disturbing and possibly even problematic, especially from Midoraita, a Torah law perspective. And then there's other reasons why to be potentially uncomfortable with regards to New Year's celebrations. Secular celebrations of New Year's are, you could say, maybe derogatory to another religion. In the post-Roman era, and especially in more recent times, New Year's has developed into a Christian holiday. Christian observance of New Year's has shunned the hedonistic celebrations of the day. In much of the Christian world, New Year's is a day of their prayer and their reflection. Some denominations have, like, let's say, special church services on this day, prayers on this day, scriptural readings to mark their holiness of this day. And it's worth noting that unlike, let's say, the Merry New Year celebrations that abound religious Christian themes of the new year, starting over, reaffirming one's commitment to God, are much more in line with the Torah concept of a new year. In recent decades, Christians are increasingly, let's say, threatened and concerned by secularization of their religious holidays. The material, let's say, consumerist focus on Xmas is only the most glaring example. The trend in Western culture, this is what he wrote 10 years ago, to de-emphasize religious themes of the holidays, both threatens and justifiably offends Christians who are battling, let's say, popular culture to keep God in the center of their lives and the lives of their children. Now, many Jewish holidays have, let's say, a mirrored pagan holiday that were practiced at similar times of the year and for similar reasons. Let's say part and parcel of the anti-pagan agenda of the Torah is the very establishment of holy days that dedicate those same time periods and season of the year to God rather than, let's say, the pagan pantheon. And Christianity adopted seasons of celebrations from the pagan world, and they will take a page out of Torah's books, recast these holidays as, let's say, holy days dedicated to the service of the Creator of heaven and earth. Also, there are other reasons why not to necessarily celebrate this day. This would have been the day of the Brit Milah of, not to mention his name here, over here, sorry to offend anyone over here, of Jesus on that day. They say that he was born on Xmas itself on 25th of December, hence that would have been on New Year. So we want to be celebrating this? That's a rhetorical question over here. So many Orthodox rabbis would not, let's say, definitely would not encourage, first of all, not encourage the partying maybe that might be going on in this specific day, but the underlying reason of just the day itself, what the day, the history of the day, the fabric of the day is, from a historic point of view, definitely not necessary to be celebrated. Now, many modern Orthodox Jews will definitely argue and say, look, we want to, this is Derech Eretz, we're living inside this world. Obviously, it's very significant this day is because for our own calendars itself, where many countries across the world will go by the English calendar over here. So obviously it's a significant day with dates and so on and so forth. But to celebrate it from a festive point of view and from a religious point of view this day, and then how the fireworks and so on. So one has got to make that calculation by looking at the entire history with regards to Sylvester, with regards to all the happenings that's went on and other, let's say, Christian, let's say, dances around on this specific day in of itself. So, we've got to actually examine it properly. What's the point of view? We know that we don't celebrate it as a festive day, the 31st of December, because obviously we've got our Rosh Hashanah in of itself, and obviously it's contrary to Jewish values, you can argue. It's associated to pagan customs. And we need to focus on the spiritual significance on our new year of Rosh Hashanah as a birthday of the world and a time of personal growth. Unlike this specific day, many of these people do? They do fireworks, balloons. But many of them will get drunk on this specific day and want to forget about this world. And very, very important. What we do on Rosh Hashanah itself, some people will immerse inside the mikveh, especially before Rosh Hashanah, because we're coming into purity. It's a time of introspection. It's the festive meals we have on Rosh Hashanah itself, where we have the different simanim to say brachot and wish us good different measures for the whole year. So synagogue and the services on Rosh Hashanah encapsulate. We're in the synagogue the whole time. There's a shofar blowing, also, which is a central ritual of spiritual awakening. However, over here on this specific new year, what noise is coming out the shofar tonight? No, it's not going to be the shofar tonight. It's going to be fireworks. It's going to be booze. It's going to be drunkenness in many, many cases over here. And when they're celebrating from their spiritual point of view, is it going to be what we are looking for. What is that the historic fabric here? So I'm just sharing some ideas over here, just pointing some questions over, not telling anyone what to do. But it's important at the end of the day that, yes, people are going to be dressing up and, so on and so forth and enjoying and stuff like that. But we should know what we are doing also at the same time. Is this the right thing to do? So friends, I would say Happy New Year's to everyone over here, but we've got from a Jewish point of view, we've got another 8 months to go because that's going to be when Rosh Hashanah is. So we can wish you a happy mid-month at the moment because we've just come out of Asara B'Tevet. And actually, one good thing that's coming out actually from these couple of days is we are 1 month away from Tu B'Shvat, the new year of the trees, Chag HaIlanot. So that is something significant for us on this specific day. So wishing you all let's say every day should be a great day in of itself, and happens to be a regular day here on the Jewish calendar. So wishing you a meaningful day and take care, everyone.